Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. I just wanted to reiterate on the video. Seems there's a lot of really excellent comments. Actually having some chats in there back and forth, which is way more than I had ever expected. People are actually waking up and they're seeing things, and I had no idea how far this would go, but I very much appreciate it. Anyway, there was a few comments. I know the video is a little sketchy, and there's some interest in actually how it transpired and what's transpiring from now. Basically, it was just a standard speeding allegation. Pull you over for an allegation of speeding. Of course, it escalated from there. And people just don't understand why. But a couple of key points. One of the things that was questioned a few times in the comment section was why I had said, when they asked me my birth date, why I had said my mother told me it was December. Well, I've been studying law for off and on now quite a bit for the last 6 years. Not just that, history. I'm not an attorney. I do speak with a lot of attorneys. I look at a lot of rulings and justices, and I'm quite heavily into it. But nonetheless, that basically goes back to Miranda. Miranda says anything you say and do can be used against you in a court of law. Well, I'm going to tell you right now that it will. Anything you say will be used against you in a court of law. The thing about learning law is one thing that they can never use is what's called hearsay. So if you say someone told me this, it cannot be used in court against you because it's merely hearsay and it's not coming from you or a valid source that they can validate on a witness stand. I had already told them in the beginning that I don't bear witness against myself. I had already given them a rights notice, basically Fourth, Fifth Amendment type things. If you're going to arrest me, you need a warrant. Everyone needs to understand that arrest and detainment are synonymous. Look in Black's Law Dictionary. Detainment is a form of arrest, and arrest is a form of detainment. I mean, it's plain and simple, and there it is. And then you're digging a little deeper into law, but unless you have some time on your hands, we're not going to get into that today. I just wanted to explain to everybody what was actually transpiring there. They pulled me over. Of course, I had a guest. He's my stepson. I made an allegation. Basically, for me, it's I neither admit nor deny, and I'll leave you to your proofs. File your complaint, and I'll see you in court. They wanted me to bear witness. I'd already told them I don't bear witness against myself. But I did give them some documents that they asked me for. It was very peaceful. There was no hostilities there. I mean, it got a little hostile when the sergeant showed up, basically strutting his stuff, or however you want to put it. But it somewhat got escalated from there. I mean, he claimed some outstanding warrants. I don't have any warrants. They were using a warrant against me that was not mine. That's what they based their whole point of arresting me for, was a warrant that was not mine. So it was a mere allegation on that point as well. Just so you know, I've been already through 13, no, let me rephrase that, 12 hearings. For a similar thing, they had claimed my driver's license was suspended. And again, the burden of proof is theirs. I'd already had 12 hearings. The case wasn't over yet. Had not gone to trial. When they couldn't use the warrant against me, they put that against me. But unfortunately, that's called double jeopardy. Okay, you cannot hold someone for the same offense twice. I had not been to trial yet. I had not been convicted of knowingly violating the law and driving without a driver's license, so to speak. Therefore, they really weren't warranted in doing what they did. They kept me overnight. did multiple things. I mean, it's pretty standard. But they released me. It was not hostile in any means. Typically, what I do is I just tell them to do what they think is right for them, and I'll do my paperwork, and we'll talk to the judge about it. I mean, there isn't a whole lot more we can do, guys. Okay, but I really appreciate all the opinions and all of the comments and I mean, it's just awesome because we're seeing multiple spectrums here. We're seeing from both different, from many angles, which is very interesting. And the point that the people are actually looking and are concerned is really awesome to me. But nonetheless, to get back into this thing, so you know where I was at with this thing. They put me in jail for the night, and back in their hotel, California. I wasn't disgruntled, I wasn't hostile. I knew I wouldn't be there very long. I mean, let's face it, it's a traffic allegation. I mean, typically don't put you in jail for a traffic allegation. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, especially if you're family people with children and whatnot. It's just unheard of. But nonetheless, they did. And I mean, it was a little bit too late for them. They'd gone a little bit too far, and they couldn't turn around. I mean, I was giving them all the information they need. They refused to look at it. They refused to look at my documents from my other court case, and it just got escalated. Unfortunately, they did some really unorthodox and unlawful things to Jordan, my guest, my stepson. And you can see it on the video. I mean, they're not allowed to touch him. He didn't do anything. He doesn't have to tell them anything. He doesn't have to bear witness against himself. It's a minor traffic stop for speeding. I mean, they had no lawful authority to do what they did to him. They detained him for over an hour and did some squirrely things and tried to basically interrogate him and whatnot. Meanwhile, I'm sitting in the back of some kind of unmarked SUV. But nonetheless, after that, basically the next morning I went to an arraignment. It was really early in the morning. I guess they wanted me out of there. And at that arraignment, they said that I would have a hearing on January 13th, 2016. Again, the stop was December 29th, 2015. On the 11th, actually went to the courthouse, approached the clerk, and told the clerk that I hadn't heard anything. I didn't even have a case number. Is anybody doing anything? And according to the clerk, no one was doing anything. I mean, the state hadn't filed anything yet, and I reiterated, well, if they do file, how can I know when the hearing's actually going to be, because there is no hearing on the 13th, as they had stated earlier. And she informed me that we would get, that I would get a notice in the mail under proper service, and letting me know everything that's going on, and to be at the hearing. Well, nonetheless, did not get that notice. Okay, I checked multiple times. I took video of the actual confrontation with the clerk that I can attach if anyone's interested in looking at it. I called a couple of times after that, and actually got some voice recordings of the clerk telling me exactly the same thing, totally different clerk. No one had filed anything. There is no case. Until you get something from us in the mail under proper service, there is nothing to talk about. Okay, well, great. Nonetheless, a couple of weeks goes by. Of course, I had to bond out. The bail bondsman calls me on a Friday afternoon, about 4:30 in the afternoon, and she tells me that you missed your hearing, and you're in violation of your bond. You're basically skipping bail, or however they put it. I'm not in trouble, and I've never even had to have a bond before in my life, but I wasn't real concerned about it. I said, and I just basically told her, look, they didn't inform me of anything. They said that I would receive something. I received nothing. Therefore, the following Monday, after that Friday, I went back to the courthouse. I filed some paperwork. I filed some motions. Basically tell them they were insufficiently served me. I didn't even know about the hearing until 4 days after it happened, and had been ruled guilty, yada yada. I guess they had set up another tentative hearing, so I was, and the clerk said that I would be informed again in my lawful place of abode, which is my home. I can go anywhere. I was never informed, and again, let's see, what's today, the Saturday, what? I'm not even sure. Well, nonetheless, here we go again on the following Friday about 4 o'clock. Bondsman calls me again, said, you missed your hearing on Monday. 2 weeks later. I'm like, they never sent me anything. I talked to them, and they were supposed to send me. Well, now we want the entire bail. We want you to do a walkthrough. We want you to turn yourself in, which is completely against the rules of the court. Fortunately, I study law, and I know what the rules of the court is, and it would behoove most people to do that. At least get a little bit familiar or talk to someone. You don't have to get an attorney, but talk to someone. Nonetheless, so here it is, Saturday. I've got to write a letter to the judge. Monday, I'm going to bring that letter in, and I'm going to ask him to remove the warrant because I wasn't sufficiently served. Probably put my motion with it and make sure I hand it to him because he probably hasn't read it yet, which basically stated the same thing from the first hearing. But nonetheless, that's where we're at right now, and I'll update you as it goes on. But a couple other things I just wanted to talk to you about. Really, I mean, they're just people, okay, and we don't want to fight them. We can't fight law on the side of the road, okay. We shouldn't be so hostile. I mean, we can be defensive, of course. But we need to retain our rights, and we need to say, no, I don't consent to talk to you. And we need to say, file your claims, and we'll talk to a judge. And just do it properly, okay? There's no reason for hostility. That was not a hostile stop. In fact, I got along great with the guys when I was in Hotel over there. There's a lot of good people there. I mean, they're not all bad. And, they're human. They're people. Okay? They know what they know, and it's not enough, okay? And none of us know enough. I mean, or we wouldn't be in the issues we're in. But we need to just understand that, okay? I mean, this is not fight or flight, okay, people? I mean, okay, I could have jumped out of the car, and that little sergeant, yeah, he had his hand on his gun, but I could have got a couple good licks in, But a few days later, a week later, 2 weeks later, he's going to be fine. Okay, he's going to be fine, and I'm going to be in jail. Okay, and this is just not the way to handle things. We need to handle things properly. As it stands right now, I have a very good complaint on him, and I'm going to file a complaint. I'm going to file a complaint under the proper jurisdiction in district court, and I'm going to sue them for home business and bank account. He could be, a fat lip or a black eye for a few weeks, but I'll be in jail. Okay, it doesn't work that way. I mean, if you really want to let them know where you stand as people, you need to do it properly. You need to do it in the courts. And I'll tell you, when he gets removed from his job, okay, and when he's the one that's being humiliated by his people and by his peers, the table's turned, okay, and you have the opportunity to even, depending on how far they go, I mean, you can sue them and you can hurt them. That's going to hurt them for a long time. No, I don't want to hurt these guys, but I don't want them to hurt me either, and I need to protect myself and my family, and everybody needs to protect themselves and their families because this is out of control. Okay, this is completely out of control. You never know what's going to happen these days. It's all over the news. I mean, it's all over the alternative media, and we just need to stand up for ourselves. We need to help each other. I mean, everything requires public. The police and the sheriff's department, if they don't have public consent, they don't exist. Okay, one of the first rules that they have is they have to be honored by the public. If they're not honored by the public, they're gone. Okay, and they're not all bad. They're not all bad people. All right, they just need to be taught and to know where we stand. We the people that they're there to protect. They need to know where we stand, and they need to know that we're not going to draw more than one line in the sand. Okay, we're going to stand on those rights. They're ours. We're keeping them. But, well, enough of that soapbox. Anyhow, But if you want to help each other out, you know, and I try to help everybody that I can, and my wife and my friends and my family. Now, what we need to do is we need to let them know that they don't have the public consent to do what they do. For example, I have here, I have the Internal Affairs complaint form. Okay, if anybody wants to help me out, okay, there it is. You write a letter to these people. The address is right there at the top. You write a letter to these people and you complain. You say, I don't like what you're doing. It doesn't have to be you. You don't have to be related. You just tell them, I do not like what you're doing, because that kind of stuff gets compiled to show the public does not value some of the things that they do. Okay, and we don't consent to it. And that's what counts. I mean, it's like taking a vote. You know, the majority vote always wins. That's just the way it is. But, yeah, I wanted to show you that. Now, if you'd like to help me out, I'll give you another handy-dandy little trick here. And I'll teach you how to mail these forms with a 3-cent stamp. Go down to the post office, spend 60 cents, get a book of 3-cent stamps. And it's all about the return address on your envelope. Okay? I'll give you a couple of ideas here on how that works. Okay? Now, if you look at the actual address on the top address, understand that it's in upper and lowercase letters. Okay, you can put your name. I usually put the family, address, spell out the state. Spell out the state in upper and lowercase letters. You see on the upper one there where it says Real Land, North America. Well, that is a valid response according to the United States Postal Service. Okay, I prefer the one that's circled at the bottom. Okay. And what I do is I say I live in the Republic near, and I put my zip code in brackets, because under law, anything in brackets is not part of the document. Okay, it's a 4 corners rule. It gets a little deep, but and I do that, and I mail all my letters all over the world for 3-cent stamp. Okay, you want to mail Christmas cards? 3-cent stamp. It's about the return address. It's about who you are. It's not about where it's going. It's about who you are. I mail them to the Supreme Court that way. Okay. They accept them every time. There is no issues. Sometimes you may have an issue with the post office. They want a zip code. Well, give them a zip code. Put it in brackets. Give it to them. They'll be happy. But meanwhile, test it out. Write yourself a little note. Put it in an envelope. Put a 3-cent stamp on it. Mail it to yourself. Drive to work one day. Throw it in the mailbox. And see if it doesn't get to you. It will get to you. It'll get to you in the same amount of time as normal snail mail gets to you. It'll get to you. Nonetheless, that's a little helpful hint for you. I appreciate all the views. And I hope you keep watching, because we do have some very interesting things coming up. We're going to have some live streaming coming on in the courthouse. We've got some press passes now where we can actually file notices and go in and take video right during the hearings and trial, which is going to be very interesting. They shied and they frown on that a little bit. They don't like to be videotaped, but we're going to do it anyway because it's all right. It's called the First Amendment. I think they'll understand. But nonetheless, thanks for viewing. If you need to know anything, if you're interested in something, just type on a message there. We'll look at it, and I'll throw up another video, and we'll talk about it. And maybe we can get somewhere with this thing and get our country back. God bless. Y'all have a great day.